Snack City in my freezer was looking a bit barren, so today I'm restocking with about 3 pounds each of chicken nuggets and curly fries. I also pre-portioned out some fruits and vegetables for some easy smoothie packs. Everything got stored away in some Swilling Fresh and Safe vacuum bags, and these will be safe from freezer burn and ready for snack time. Let's start out with the chicken nuggets, which have about 30 calories and 3.4 grams of protein each. Believe it or not, the first ingredient we're going to prep for these nuggets is some sweet potatoes. It's going to require one hefty sweet potato of just about 1 pound or 480 grams. You're going to peel the skin away and then chop this into a large dice. You don't need to worry about getting even cuts because this is all going into the blender and we're going to process it down even farther. Chopping it into a dice just helps the blender with a little head start. I added about half of my sweet potatoes to the blender and then turned it on until they formed a riced consistency. Without any liquid in the blender, it's tough for it to get things moving around, so if you put all these potatoes in at once, sometimes the ones on top get stuck. So I do it in 2 batches to help solve for this. If you have a food processor, you could use that as well. 20 seconds or so is all it should take to process down into the size we're looking for, and then you can dump it all into a large bowl. Next, you'll take 3 green onions, or about 30 grams worth, and cut those into a small dice. You can use both the green and white portions, and then add those to your bowl with the sweet potatoes. Follow that up by cracking in 2 whole eggs, and beat those together to incorporate the whites and the yolks. It would probably be best to do this in a separate bowl first to ensure that everything gets incorporated correctly, but then I would have to clean another bowl. I'm not doing that. Next to the bowl, you'll add in 2 teaspoons or 6 grams of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons or 6 grams of onion powder, 1.5 teaspoons or 9 grams of salt, 1/3 of a cup or 40 grams of oat flour, and then 2 pounds or 908 grams of ground chicken thighs. You could use ground chicken breast as well, but if you do, I would add in about a tablespoon or 15 grams of oil. Mix the contents of that bowl together till everything is evenly distributed. Making your nuggets is going to require quite a bit of sheet pan real estate. To save on cleanup and for quick pan reusability, line these pans with some parchment paper and spray each of them lightly with oil, and then you can start dropping on your nuggets. The easiest way to form the nuggets is to use a 1 ounce or 30 gram cookie scoop. Doing this instead of attacking the meat mixture with 2 spoons to place onto the sheet pans will save you a bunch of time and the headache of the century. It is worth it to have the cookie scoop. Squeeze out the nuggets onto the pan and be sure to leave about 2 inches between each. Once your balls are down, we're going to have to smush them into nugget shape and you will need the extra space. The meat mixture will stick to your fingers with the power of 10,000 suns, but luckily for us, a little bit of water and the evil is defeated. I set up a little bowl of water next to my pans and dip my fingers in it before pressing each nugget into a disc. The diameter of these nuggets is somewhere between 2 and 3 inches. Once they're all formed and ready, these trays will go in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 204 Celsius for 8 minutes on the first side. While that initial round of nuggets were in the oven, I continued to work through my bowl and form more on a separate sheet pan. 8 minutes later, I pulled the trays from my oven and flipped the nuggets over to the other side. Now if you're wondering from the looks of this if the right side of my oven is Dante's Inferno, the answer is a clear and obvious yes. What in the Sam hell is going on over there? Look at that nugget in E3, it's scorched. And I tried to save him, I really did, but his sunburn was just too deep, and a few minutes after this, I ended up having to put him down. This second tray was on the top shelf, so it was exposed to the steam from the bottom tray, which keeps the temperature a bit lower. These trays will go back into the oven for an additional 4 minutes to finish up baking. When they're all done in the oven, I move them over to a wire rack and allow them to cool. This will clear up my sheet pan to allow for me to continue working through the meat until all of my nuggets have been formed. The parchment paper can be quickly swapped out to get a fresh surface, and you can finish baking all of your nuggets. Once they are all finished cooking and cooled, I'll consolidate the nuggets onto one sheet pan to prepare for flash freezing. Each one of these chicken nuggets comes in at around 30 calories with 3.4 grams of protein. So 10 of them at snack time will get you 34 grams of protein and only 300 calories. Every time I make these, I eat through them so fast because of how insanely palatable they are. The sweet potatoes in here help to keep the nuggets soft, and the subtle sweetness gives them a similar flavor to if they were breaded. I wish I could have a few hundred of these in Snack City at any given time. This tray will now get put in the freezer so that all these nuggets can freeze solid. As these nuggets were still in their cooling process, I was hard at work continuing to build the foundations of Snack City, this time with a big old sack of potatoes. It was French fry time. I washed 3 pounds or 1,362 grams of russet potatoes to prepare for cutting. Get you a big bowl of water with a generous pinch of salt to place the cut potatoes in to soak. Usually when I make fries for Snack City, I make crinkle cut fries, but this time when I opened the drawer to pull out the crinkle cutter, I found my vegetable spiralizer right next to it. And then I thought about curly fries, and I decided they would be rude if I didn't try to make them. So even though I knew it would take way more effort and time to make the curly fries over the crinkle cut, I had to at least give it a shot. So I stabbed the potato down on top of it and started cranking away. Out came a pile of my spiraled potatoes, and I tossed these into the salt water to soak and remove any starch on the exterior. Now, I'll continue spinning my way through all these potatoes until I'm donezo. I'll let these cut potatoes soak in the salt water for 20 to 30 minutes, or just until I'm tired of waiting. These curly fries came out a little thinner than I had hoped, which will make things a bit more difficult when it comes to reheating, but I can still make it work. Next time I'll have to make them thicker, or just stick to my usual crinkle cut to save me some time. One advantage of making the curly fries is that all the twisting and turning required from these potatoes gave me a nice little forearm pump, so now I can count that as the one dedicated forearm workout I do per year. While the potatoes were soaking, I decided to do one more little prep of some smoothie ingredients just to make things a bit easier for me. I've been trying to eat a serving of beets a few times a week for the nitrates, but I'm always annoyed by having to pull out all the bags from the freezer. So if I pre-measure and divide out all of my ingredients at one time, I can save myself a little bit of a hassle. So to make my smoothie bags, I placed a bowl over a scale and added in about 80 grams of beets for my dose of nitrates, 60 to 70 grams of frozen pineapple to overpower the disgusting flavor of the beets, 30 grams of frozen blueberries for the antioxidants, and about 50 grams of frozen spinach or kale just for some extra vegetables. Then I dumped that bowl into a small sized Fresh and Save bag from Zwilling and repeated this until I ran out of ingredients. As dumb as it sounds, sometimes the thought of pulling out 4 bags of frozen fruit and vegetables and weighing each is enough to make me not want to make a smoothie. Pre-portioning out the ingredients so that all that is required is to dump out the contents of a bag and then pour in some liquid makes the chances that I consume one of these 3 or 4 times more likely. Just like I always say, if you make nutritious eating convenient, you will find success easier to come by. I ran out of beets after 6 servings, so I closed up the bags and used my vacuum pump to suck out all of the air. I'll toss these bags into Snack City and I'll have these ready for me to go whenever I want them. Take a bag from the freezer, dump it straight into a blender, and all you gotta do is measure out your liquids. It takes about 250 to 300 grams of liquid to get everything spinning, so I'll usually split that half and half between some milk and apple juice. I'm like a real-life Benjamin Button, where as I get older, I become more and more of a baby. That's why I need the apple juice, and sometimes I even have to sneak in some maple syrup. If I even taste a little bit of the spinach or kale, it makes me want to throw up. Back in the day, I used to be able to do these with just water. Those days are long gone. I'll place the container over the motor for about a minute, and out will come a perfectly smooth drink. The 130 grams or so of vegetables in this drink isn't a ton, but it sure is better than eating beets or spinach in any other way, and making them as easy as possible to consume helps me be sure I get them in. Alright, now back to the soaking fries. I'm going to drain away all the water, and then our goal is to get these as dry as possible. If they're too wet, it will cause problems during the flash freezing process, so I placed a handful in a salad spinner, and I spun them so hard they were drier than the day is long. Now if you're wondering how dry that is, it turns out it is not very dry, so I had to pat them even further with a paper towel. After I had dried them all out to the best of my abilities, I spread them out even further on 2 sheet pans to move into the freezer to flash freeze. There's lots of surface area with these curly fries, so the more that you can spread them out the better, otherwise they're going to freeze together, which is a problem that I would later encounter. In order to fit all these trays in my freezer at one time to flash freeze, I had to build upwards, so I built some stilts out of some ramekins and then stacked the sheet trays on top of each other to put in the freezer. Now these will take a few hours to freeze solid, so I went and played squash for a while and came back to deal with them later. It was a tight fit, but we made it happen. A few hours later, everything was frozen solid and ready to be packed away in their Zwilling Fresh and Save vacuum bags, the sponsor of today's video. Zwilling is known for their high quality knives, which I've been using in my kitchen for years. But they also make other awesome kitchen gear like the blender I used in this video, and their Fresh and Save vacuum system, which is perfect for Snack City. I placed my nuggets down in a single layer in 2 of the medium-sized vacuum bags. Then I sealed them up and took out the air using the vacuum pump. It's very important that these nuggets are frozen solid before you try to vacuum seal them. If they are not, they're going to squish together and freeze in one solid ball instead of as individual nuggets. The same strategy should go for your fries. Make sure they're frozen solid and try to place them in your bags in a single layer as best as possible. With how thin these curly fries are, they thaw fast out of the freezer, so I needed to work quickly. This is in real time and not sped up. I'm the fastest human alive. Seal up the bags, take out the air, and they are ready for Snack City. Now I've got 3 pounds each of nuggets and fries and 6 smoothies ready to go in the freezer. Zwilling is giving a deal to all US-based members of TMPM Nation where if you purchase their 7-piece Fresh and Save vacuum starter set, you can get 10 extra medium bags for free if you use the code MEALPREP at checkout. Shout out to Zwilling for sponsoring this video and always taking care of TMPM Nation. Now when snack time rolls around and it's time to eat, the best way to reheat these is in the air fryer. I'll turn my air fryer to 375 Fahrenheit or 190 Celsius, and the nuggets will go quick. They should only take 4 or 5 minutes. The fries will take a little bit longer since they're uncooked. Spray them with a bit of oil and toss them in the air fryer. A quick note about the curly fries. If they're stuck together when you pull them out of the bag, don't try to break them apart. If yours are real thin like mine and you try to break them apart while they're frozen, they're just going to shatter. So I found the best way to do it is to leave them in clumps and toss them in the air fryer for about a minute, then pull it out and separate them once they've thawed. One advantage of sticking with the thicker crinkle cut fry is that you don't have to worry about this. After a few minutes of reheating, I can pull out the tray, flip the nuggets over to the other side, and give the fries a little toss. Then when the nuggets are hot and the fries are browned, it's ready to eat. Sprinkle a little salt over the fries, give a little squirt of ketchup, and now you've got a perfect snack plate. I wish I could say I use these primarily for snacks, but if I'm being honest, most of the time it's just for a meal in a pinch. And that's one of the great benefits of keeping a stockpile of food in Snack City in your freezer. It's always got your back. The full written version for how you can make these chicken nuggets is published on mealprepmanual.com, and you can find that link down below in the description. There's a link to the recipe for the fries as well, but I don't think you need a recipe for that one because it's literally just potatoes. If this is your first introduction into the idea of meal prepping snacks for your freezer, these chicken nuggets can be a great recipe to start with. They're quite simple to make, a great source of easy protein, and a perfect late night snack. Once you learn of the luxury of Snack City, you'll never be able to go back. Again, the recipes are down below in the description, as well as a link to the Fresh and Save vacuum system from Zwilling if you'd like to have a look. For more Snack City recipes, check out the 2 videos on screen now.